Hey, what's up everyone? Today I'm going to show you how to make this amazing white bread for your sandwiches. Let's get started. Alright, to begin we will need 710 grams of all-purpose flour, 500 grams or milliliters of milk, 30 grams of sugar, 25 grams of kosher salt, 2 teaspoons active dry yeast, some melted butter, 52.5 grams, and for just some coating, canola oil. To begin, you will need to heat your milk to 102 to 103 degrees Celsius. Today I'll be using a KitchenAid mixer over here with a bowl and the dough hook attachment. That's all you really require. Pour all your milk, which is heated to 102 degrees, into the bowl over here. Add your active dry yeast. Mix everything together and let it sit covered for at least 10 to 15 minutes. I've just covered it with foil. Once your yeast has bloomed like this, then we can begin the next process. Otherwise, you would need to see if your yeast hasn't bloomed. You might have yeast that is bad or old. You will need to get a new one. Take all your flour and add it to the bowl and let's start mixing. Start mixing on number 2 speed only until it all starts to come together. As you can see, everything is starting to come together now. Add your sugar, your salt, and the butter. It's an extremely easy recipe, as I said. Increase your speed to number 4 and start mixing until it forms a very nice and soft dough for about 6 minutes or so. Starts making this slapping noises on the side. This is after about 6 minutes. The dough should be nice and soft and smooth, as you can see. It's very nice. It should be a bit smooth. And let's take the dough out now. Of the bowl, you can use a dough scraper or something. Just make it into a nice ball by tucking in the sides. Once you've tucked in the sides, make it into a ball. Just pinch everything in the bottom. Put the dough back inside the bowl and cover and proof for at least hour and a half or double or triples in size. Depends on your weather. As you can see, my dough has risen very nicely for more than double. What we want to do with this now is punch the dough down. Take all the air out of it. Scrape it out using a big spoon or again a dough scraper or something. Once you have the dough out, make it into a rough size ball again. Weigh this out if you would like to, or just cut it in half. I had about 1,300 grams over here. Mine came to about 650 grams per loaf. So I'm making 2 loaves here. If you're following the ingredients exactly, that's where you should end up as well. At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bread pan and I'm just going to grease it with some oil or some butter if you would like to use any sort of fat, and just grease all the sides and the corners of it. Alright, let's start shaping your dough into a log. So just put some flour down on a work surface. Try to bring it into a rough square or an oval shape over here as I am. Try to flatten the surface out as much as possible with your hands. If not, then use a rolling pin, use a wine bottle, use anything circular that you can. Just bring it into a shape, and all we need to do now is to tuck and pull. So here I am trying to show you that what you need to do is just roll it and tuck it inside. So roll it and tuck it inside. Once again, you roll it and you tuck it inside. As you can see, it's coming into a nice log shape right there. Keep rolling it and tucking inside. The last bit you can again roll and tuck. I'm showing you from this side now. Once you have the last bit there, simply pinch the last bit where the seam ends and keep pinching until it sort of glues up with the dough. And that's all really that is. And it's quite simple. You'll get it in the first time, second time. So once you've got a nice log over here, simply just take your greased dough loaf pan over here and put that dough in, and let's get it to rise again. So do this with the other one as well. If you're only making one, simply take the other loaf pan if you have two and put it on top. You don't need to put a cling film, just let it go like this. Alright, so as you can see, we have two loaf pans now with the dough logs inside, and that's all we need to do. Simply put your dough inside, and you can cover it with a cling film wrap or very loosely though, and let it proof for at least hour and a half. And I'll show you as we go along of what size we want them at. Now, depending on how hot your oven can get and how fast it can get, I am preheating my oven for at least half an hour at 400 degrees Celsius. Inside the oven, what I've done is I've got a pizza stone. I've just kept it underneath. I'm going to put the loaf pans on top of this one so they also heat from the bottom and they cook evenly. If you have it, that's great. If you don't have it, not a problem. You could put a really big, heavy steel pan or even a baking tray underneath. As you can see now that my dough has proofed again, and that's all the height we're looking for. Rest, it will be achieved within the oven, so you don't have to worry about it too much. Loosely wrap it with a cling film, not too tightly, so they have a chance to proof. Put both your loaves in the oven at 400 degrees. Set the timer for 30 minutes. If your oven is slow, perhaps you can go for about 30 to 40 minutes. Keep an eye out. Alright guys, so I did about actually 30 minutes approximately, and this is just about end. Just gonna turn the oven off over here. And let's take a look. This one is a little bit more poofed up than this one right here. I like this one, but I wanted to show you that even mistakes are beautiful. Alright, so what you would need to do now is take the bread out of the loaf pans and lay it on its side on a wired rack until it's completely cooled, just to make sure that that dome that you have does not sink in. So keep it on its side until they're completely cooled before cutting in, if you can wait that long, that is. Alright guys, this is completely cooled. As you can see, it looks amazing. We're going to just slice into it. Just take a serrated knife